Hello everybody, welcome back to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. I hope you guys are doing wonderfully well. We've got a new season on the horizon and I'm looking forward to this. I haven't done a live stream. Actually, that's a lie. I did a live stream last week. And we're going to do 3 this week. So the next 3 days, you've got this one right now. Tomorrow we're going to go through my FPL team and you can laugh at that. And on Friday, we have the return of Jaffin live. And we can find out what really happened on the overlap this week with our boy Flav. Right, so what I'm going to do is, and this has been so difficult, as you know, I'm so indecisive, it's frightening. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to talk. I'm going to go through the squads, and what I would say straight off the bat is that I have got my Premier League lineup database, and there might be the odd mistake, but I've had 3 hours sleep in the last 2 days, so give me a break. Whilst you're there, hit the like button and subscribe to the James Lawrence Allcott channel. Very close to 200k now. If you have enjoyed the content this week, hit the subscribe button and hit the notification bell because you don't want to miss out on the lives tomorrow and Friday in particular, because me and Flav are getting giddy about that one. So it's going to be good fun and I will, ruin my career. This is the year I get cancelled, guys. This is the year. Let's find out. Let's first of all have a look at last season's table. Wow. Good numbers here. This is frightening. Oh, in partnership with SofaScore, there is a link in the description. If you like stats, the stats I use in the bulk of my videos are often from the boys and girls at SofaScore. So the link is down below. Click on it and have it. I know a million of you ask me all the time. So get involved. Did someone just ask me to whip it out? Come on. So this is the table from last year. Is it? Yep, it is. 93 points. And this is worth looking at. Someone said to me, said this to me on Twitter, and I thought it was a really good point. Because in terms of the disparity between Man City, Liverpool, and then the rest, and then also Man United and how far off they are at this moment in time, it is just worth having a quick look at. It is interesting to see how they all got on. And I did try and keep that in mind in terms of which teams will do better, which teams will do worse. And yeah, that's the current situation. So we're always worth having a look. Let's dive into this. And I pray, good Lord, I pray that this works. Come on. Right, league table. Now, next warning. If you have OCD, like severe OCD, this is not the video for you. Okay, because I'm going to go through my league table. And because because again, I'm so indecisive, I knew I was going to want to make changes. And because I knew I was going to want to make changes, I wanted changeable names, right? So, and then you try and put them in order and make them look all nice, beautiful and neat. Can't do it because I've literally changed some of mine in the last 20 minutes. So if you've got OCD and this is going to upset you, then turn off now, okay? Right, let's dive into this. And let me go to my first lineup. Now, this is a very late change. Oh, final thing to say, I know it will inevitably happen. Any super chats, we'll look at them at the end, but I'm going to go through my league table first, and then I'll go through all the super chats. So don't worry about that because I don't want to shortchange anyone either. Right, we begin. League. Okay, so first up, 20th spot. And I don't want to do this, and I had them 19th, but I had one final look at the squads. And I mean, look, 19th, 20th, does it really make a difference? I've gone with Bournemouth. It has to be Bournemouth. And do you know what? The thing that's changing my mind, and let me tell you about my sort of strategy when it comes to it this time, is I'm trying to not get too bogged down in the squads. I want to kind of understand the general sort of situation of the club, the mood of the club. Also, I actually think being more kind of cautious and direct might be the way to go. I certainly felt like that was the case last year. And some of the teams that are a bit more open, like the Norwiches of this world, have been hurt. And hurt bad. So with that in mind, I was thinking Bournemouth might hit the giddy heights of 19th, but wasn't the case in the end. I had one final look at it, and when we look at the squad, let me show you that bad boy. Come on, Jimbo. Hit the like button. Ignore all this stuff, by the way. This was just me kind of thinking out loud. It's just a weak squad. I'm not happy with the centre-back situation. I think they'll get someone in. But it's just, I keep going to Solanke and Moore and thinking, go direct, go to those two. Have a sort of midfielders who sort of just work really, really hard. And that might be enough to do something. And Parker being pragmatic, I don't hate it. But I just couldn't do it. It's purely, that would purely be on sort of a gut instinct, because the next team, the team that's in 19th spot, they they just have a bit more quality. They're also kind of strengthening now at this moment in time, and I think that does obviously make a difference. But what I'm really gutted about is Billing as your cam is painful. Billing pretty much played as a cam last year, so that's not wrong. You're wrong on this occasion, okay? And he scored quite a few goals for him as well. I know. Next up, 20th position. Fancy a transition? Hello. Well done, Christian. Good work, son, with these transitions. Fancy another one? Here it comes. No, just the once. Fulham. Fulham next up. It's the style of play and the change of the style of play that makes life very, very difficult when it comes to Fulham for me. In terms of Leno coming in, like that. What an upgrade that is in the goalkeeper department. I'm still concerned about the centre-back position. And again, if there's any mistakes on this, just give me a break, guys. Give me a bloody break, okay? Polina, really good. I think that's a typo. Might be wrong. And Babu, I'm pleased with that. Look, it's not terrible. And that's why I had to bump them up to the heady heights of 19th. But I just worry about... And this is harsh on them because they were so good against QPR, for example. And when I watched them, they just played so wide and expansive that they were so confident. You just can't get away with that in the Premier League. I think you've got to have, the way Brentford went about it last year, it was pragmatic and it worked and it was smart. And I think unless you're going to be super, super good in terms of possession, it's a very dangerous strategy. And although they have invested in the squad, and I don't hate any of the moves, really. And as I say, Polina is an amazing move. Pereira, I just don't know if he's the guy. I'm always wary of players dropping down, but he is younger, so I don't totally hate it. But yeah, I just have them second bottom, and it's a shame because they've been so dominant. And a team that goes up, it shouldn't be that hard to stay up. But the truth is that it is that hard. I also think Silva will be the first manager to go. I think he'll get fed up. I could be totally wrong with this, and they could play this lovely football because I like players like Robinson and Babu. I like as a right back in terms of bringing in. I think it's good business. I just don't think they have enough. Now the next one and the third spot, and feel free to predict as we go along, see if you can get it right. This is tough, and I have changed this 3 times, and the 3 teams that I had in no particular order. I had Brentford, Southampton, Everton. Those are the 3 teams that I think will take that third spot. How that will go about, I've honestly had all 3 of them in my bottom... Not in my bottom. In my bottom 3. Okay? And I've literally changed this again in the last 20 minutes, and I'm really, really sorry for the fans of the club that I've said. And just to milk it a little bit more, let's just have a quick look at those 3, and then we can put them all in one go, right? So, first of all, Everton. Everton, I think Lampard gets a bad rap. I think he's actually got quite a nice little rapport with the Everton fans. That could turn very, very quickly. Got some question marks there when it comes to Idrissa Gueye. If he comes back in, that is an improvement in midfield. Even though he's 32, he does still have that stamina. Again, I'm nervous about the hunger. But again, that's probably my QPR Premier League scars affecting things. Up front, they need to sort this out pretty quickly, but I think they might just about do it. And I think there's the loan market. They really need to utilise the loan market, but I think they will. The reason I thought and think Everton could go down is because they're such a big club that it's almost like it's making them behave in a crazy way because they're just so desperate not to go down. And it's like, it's like when you're having a crash and you can't keep your eyes off the crash, and therefore you end up going into the crash. Not my best analogy. And I think that's the problem with Everton. So that's why I think they could go down. Okay. But I like actually the moves that are being made in terms of the squad. Younger players, Tarkowski I like as an option as well. But that's why I think they could go down. My throat hurts. Let's keep going. Southampton. Oh, let's go Brentford. It's closer. So, yeah, you go. Not literally, which is. So here, I've got a lot of green here because, I like the signing of me. I am nervous about Damsgaard. I've got to be honest. Problems with arthritis, problems with fitness, but no doubt quality. I think a summer ago, people were offering 30 million for this guy. Now Brentford doing what Brentford do. And I think this is kind of the new thing where they take a risk. And it's not kind of using the Danish league, which I know that they obviously do use, and I know he's Danish, but it's being smart about kind of, well, okay, I get why people aren't looking at him, but we'll take that risk and we'll see if we can treat him. It sounds like, from what I've heard, from a boy, Dominic, give you a shout out, Adam Webber, I know you're watching as well, that they're going to be able to treat it. But you've got to be nervous about that. I think if you're not a Brentford fan, then you're a bit nervous about that. You're a bit more sort of cynical about that, shall I say. De Silva needs to have a decent season. Onyeka needs to improve, but they do still have a decent amount of size. As I say, Ben Mee, love that. Tony, one of the best forwards down the bottom of the league, I would say, for sure. And Mbeumo, can he start scoring 1 or 2 goals? We'll see. Second season, maybe he can turn out. And Lewis Potter's going to take a moment to acclimatise, but he has got real talent. Why could they go down? Overall quality, inability to spend too much, and the loss of Eriksen. That's why they could go down. And as I say, all 3 of these teams that I'm talking about right now, I have at some stage put in my bottom 3. Not put in my bottom, just to reiterate that. Southampton. Here's the reason why they could go down. First of all, striking problems. Secondly, the focus on youth, which is not a bad thing at all. They're trying to evolve the team. They've got a lot of boys who are getting a little bit older. And so I don't hate that it's so young. But it is a risk, once again. And they need to they need to hit the ground running. And if they do get close to it, is it going to be a little bit too much? Also, will they bring in, is Mara going to be up to it straight away? Possibly, but again, I'm not sure. It's a bit like Brozier last year. Adams I like, Armstrong I don't mind, but overall I'm not happy with the striking options for Southampton as well. And so out of those 3, as I said, initially I think I had Everton, and then I went to Brentford, and then I thought, I'm not falling for this. Oh no, I've got to be wiser, thinking about history. And I know I'm always harsh on Southampton, but you've got to be careful with Brentford. You cannot discount them. You cannot. Do not disregard Brentford. They are so smart. They always find a way. And the fear of that is why I'm sorry to report that Brentford will survive. And it's Southampton who will be on their way down, sadly. Where's it gone? Yeah. There we go. Southampton. Brentford. Is the transition going to work? Doesn't seem to want to work. But fortunately, we've got a backup. But that, like I said, OCD is a problem for us all. I think Brentford will just about get away with it. And I think Everton, they'll go get Gilmour. They'll go get themselves a striker. And they'll be just about fine. But there is severe pressure. Severe pressure on Everton. And let's be honest, every single October, November, they change their manager. And if that happens again, shame on me. Because we did see it. But again, of those 3 options, I've gone with the wrong one. Okay? Next up. Who's going to be next up? Get your predictions in. Let's have a go. Right. I'm going to just reveal straight off the bat. And then we'll have a chat about them. Nottingham Forest. Nottingham Forest. Interessant, I hear you say, my French brethren. Let's have a look at Nottingham Forest. Now, Nottingham Forest have made a lot of changes. Okay? However, and people would be concerned about that. But do you know what? You know when people get sort of angry at Fulham going, they can't spend money. Don't spend so much money. You were obviously going to go down because you spent money. No, spending money badly. That's the problem. And to go up, to stay up, as I said, I think you have to be pretty pragmatic or you have to spend a bit of cash. And that's the situation when it comes to Nottingham Forest. I think what they've done here is, yes, they've made a lot of changes. We'll have a look at it. But they have made changes with the right profile to replace the players that were lost. And the players were lost. They were lone players that made the big difference for them. Jed Spence, James Garner, Zinchenko, others. So they had to make those changes. So you want to get similar people with a similar profile, but with the hunger. And I think Steve Cooper is a bloody good friend of mine because I spoke to him once. I think they've made some really smart moves here. I think they can play on the counter-attack. I think our knee will be a really real brute force up there, a bit like Ivan Toney, who I thought was superb last year. Richards on the left is an upgrade on Colback. Toffolo as well, so competing for places there. Obviously, it's a step up for him, but he was fantastic in the Championship last year. Lewis O'Brien was one of my favourite players, or most impressive players, in terms of players who played against QPR last season. When I watched him, I thought it was two players. So in terms of getting about him and Yates, will be really solid there. But then you've got that little bit of quality in Lingard. Nico Williams, great signing. Way too good for the Championship. And it's a good fit for him. And look, the centre-back positions, I'm not totally sure yet. But Henderson is a huge... Well, I quite like Bryce Samba, I think. But Henderson is obviously a huge upgrade as well. Big club, huge club, great ground. Home games will be fiery. And I like him. I like them a lot, and thus they go into 15th. Congratulations to them. I agree, Jay Saunders. O'Brien is Prem quality. Where are we off to now? Okay. Now, I might have to go back to the league table here, because the next team is... Where are we? Leeds United. Leeds United are 14th for me. The reason they are 14th, there it is, that's glorious, is... He's in partnership with who? I'm so tired. You know you get the most delirious Jim when I'm tired. Long may it continue, because I know you bloody love it. Don't you? Well, don't hit the like button. Oh. Shame. I mind. So, Leeds United, 17th last season, 38. Conceded way too many goals. Didn't score enough. Generally the problem with football, isn't it, when you're down the bottom? Just about survived. Do I see this team conceding less goals? Yes. Do I see this team scoring more goals? Yes. And thus, I think they'll do much, much better. Look, you lost Phillips, but Phillips was injured a lot of the time in terms of overall league position. I get it, it's a loss, but the players that they brought in, I just like them. I just think it's smart. And they had to be done. Again, this is what people go, oh, they made a lot of changes. If you have to make a lot of changes, you have to make a lot of changes. All right? I've always said that. Christensen, bombing on, exciting. Could do with one more left back. Well, yeah, they could. And it will be interesting to see if they get that sorted out. Centre-back positions are a little bit nervy for me as well. Not sure Cock's up to it. Rocker and Adams. Rocker, I'm so excited to watch. Tyler Adams. Those two, it's a really strong double pivot for them. Forshaw, I think, is actually pretty tidy. Gabby as well is a one to watch. And then up top now, you've got at least two decent options in most positions. One more centre back? Yes, please. That would be nice. And it could be exciting. But I think Jesse Marsch is going to do it for the American managers who've just been laughed out of the Premier League time and time again. Not this time. Jesse knows what he's doing. Okay? Right, let's keep going. To the league table. Where are we off to now? Next up. So, what I would say is it does feel like there are 3, maybe 4 tables in this, if you make like mini tables. I think this is the first one, by the way. And we're going to go, who's going to be top of this league? I think Leeds will be top of this league. Next up. I've gone for Wolves. Have I? Where is it? There it is. Wolves in 13th place. I have concerns over the last few weeks of the transfer window. Ruben Neves linked with Man United. Might stay, probably will stay. I think the fans are a little bit bored. I do like Bruno Lage, and I think I could easily be wrong with this one, and he could fix it. But at this moment in time, especially in the forward options, I'm concerned with the desire to go to a back four, and with that, the lack of forward options really at this moment in time. Let's have a look. Like up top, Jimenez is out for a decent amount of time. You know, I'm not sure about Kwok. I love a bit of Hwang, and he might be able to fill the hole. And there is talent here, but I don't think there certainly haven't been the goals. Maybe that changes if you change from this 3 at the back to a 4 at the back. If that happens, which Cody might get less minutes, which could be difficult for him with the World Cup. Not important for now. But if Neves goes and they don't sort out the centre forward position, I just think that leaves them a little bit light. I don't think there's any way they go down. And I think they can always revert back to that 3 if they are going to play that 3. But I just don't like it. There's something about Wolves I'm not feeling right now. And of this next sort of mini league, I see them at the bottom of it at the moment. Okay. Next up is Brighton. Now, Brighton, again, like Brentford, I'm very wary of going against them. And the reason I'm wary of going against them because they're a well put together club that is about the team more than the individuals, whilst having quite a few hasty individuals. But, and again, I will quite possibly be proved wrong. Caicedo could be the next Basuma. It's exactly the same player, but you get what I'm saying. They go find another left back. Angelino comes in, will be an amazing signing for them as well. But you've lost Basuma and you're going to lose Cucurella. And I think that means you lose a bit of depth. I'm not totally convinced with Undav just yet. You're not guaranteed that's going to work out. You have concerns about Malpoy in terms of not his hold-up play, which is good, but he doesn't get enough goals to push you up. So overall, I see them sort of regressing a tiny bit, but completely safe with some good wins. Lamptey, I'm excited to see what he can do this year as well. And he's a good back 3. I just think there's a little lack of depth there, but I think that's partly down to them not being sort of like big names. Like Mwepu, I like as well. So that's where I'm at with Brighton. Not a huge amount to say. Apologies for that. I'd love to see Welbs score 15 goals. I would love to be wrong and see Welbs bang him in. That guy is the guy. Next up. This is another one where I could be completely wrong. But I'm intrigued to see that. I mean, the lack of reinforcement, the mood around the club, and quite possibly the loss of huge players for them. And I'm waiting to see who the replacements are. This could be wrong as well. And as I say, this mid-table area could be totally wrong. Let me know what you think. I'm going to go with Leicester. The centre-back position I'm uncertain of. They have got good fullbacks. And they do have good players, but Tielemans could... I think it's going to be a really tough couple of weeks for them. Really tough couple of weeks. And you feel like you've got people who want to get out, and you've got people who are kind of past their best. Schmeichel's on his way out. Haven't got a new goalkeeper coming in just yet. I mean, Danny Ward's, I think, got three starts in 7 seasons. I'm not saying he's a bad goalkeeper, but it's not ideal. Fullbacks, they've got incredible depth there, and Justin could play as a right-sided centre-back in a 3. But look, say you lose Fofana, your other defenders you're a little bit concerned with. Now, maybe they've got all these guys ready to go. But I also don't think they've got a huge amount of money at this moment in time. So I think, and Tielemans in his last year, you're going to sell him. No depth on the right-hand side. Perez, again, up top, they're okay. If they'd kept all these guys, they would be miles higher. And this was a last-minute move as well. They would have been 8th for me. But because of the things that are happening right now, Maddison possibly leaving, Fofana really pushing for a move with some grim social posts that he doesn't need to be doing. I'm a little bit worried about Leicester City, and I think there's a stagnation there, and thus they will be 11th, which is not the end of the world. Vardy still score some goals. They've got goals in the team. It will just be a bit of a drab one and a disappointing one when you think of where they have been in the past. Next up, 10th spot. And this is a little bit punchy, but I'm backing them. 1 game a week, not in Europe. Some big signings, some players coming back, some players they've been watered in the Premier League and now they grow. It is Crystal Palace. My boy Eze back in the fold. Johnston, great signing. Can they go and get a right back? Would be nice. Would make a little bit of a difference here. The centre-backs staying fit, a year older, a year wiser. Their set-piece record was terrible, conceded so many goals. I don't think they'll do worse than that. Vieira he's building, something's happening here. And he's building something. I like the midfield. I like the fact that you've got... Milivojevic, has he gone yet? No, he's linked with the move away. You've got a bit of tenacity in there. Decore, I was talking to Michael Bridge, who was on Sky Sports News with me today, and he was saying that when the Decore thing was happening, Michael, I'm sorry if I'm telling this, I don't think it's a problem. They wanted to keep it quiet because they couldn't believe they were getting their hands on this guy. And I think he's going to be a really, really great upgrade for them. And it will allow a sort of platform for these exciting players to go and score goals. Zaha continues to do well. I think he could have a big season. Edouard, I think, can do better. The centre forward position, can Mateta get better? I think he can. Let's not give up on the guy, huh? And I think it's a good squad. Not huge depth, but the difference is they haven't got an outrageous amount of games. And so, happy times for Palace. I think they'll do well. I think Vieira maybe gets touted for a couple of jobs, which is sad, isn't it? And that's always the talk, isn't it? And I'm disappointed in myself for doing that. Let's just move on. But congratulations to Crystal Palace. Top 10 finish and above Brighton, which I know is important to you. Next up, Aston Villa. Ooh-wee. Ooh-wee. James said Aston Villa at 9th place. What? I'm sorry. I'm so sorry. Kouyaté left for Palace. Okay, apologies. I haven't updated that. Villa squad. There is quality here, and the pressure is on Gerrard and Critchley. And that's worth remembering, is because Mick Beale was doing a lot of the work, and now Critchley will do a lot of the work. But there's a lot of pressure on them because this is a good squad. This is a really good squad, and I think they should be excited about it. Leon Bailey. The thing is can they find the right way of playing, and will he be too stubborn with this style of play? They want to play narrow. Chukwuemeka is leaving, so get rid of him. But he wasn't really going to start anyway. It's a good squad. Diego Carlos coming in. Kamara, amazing signing. Ramsey a year older, year wiser. Luiz a good deputy, generally. Coutinho has that quality. Buendia, I think it's kind of done by a lot of the time in terms of not being a regular starter. Sanson, I might have forgotten to put him in, sorry. And then Watkins and Ings and Bailey as well. Where's Bailey? There he is. Bailey, kind of coming to the front of that now, right? Traore as well. I think it's a good squad. Martinez is a great goalkeeper in this league. I think the pressure's on, really, for Villa to do something. And some good young players coming through as well. And so, apologies if Wesley left. All right, guys, give me a break, like I said. Yeah, I mean, is this a bit punchy? This is one for the chat, actually. 6,000 people watching right now. Could you please subscribe and hit the like button? I'd massively, massively help. Aston Villa, is that about right? Or would you have them a bit higher? Let's go on to the next team. Manchester. I'm joking. It's... Who fell for it? Come on. Next up is Newcastle United to finish in 8th spot. Let's have a look. I like the back five. This is the big thing for me. Guimaraes, you'll remember we did a video on him quite a while ago. And I said, in a sort of double pivot, he can, in a team that's going to dominate the ball a bit more, he can sit. And now I know Shelvey is injured. I think the big thing for me is that I like the profile of players that are coming through. Put Maddison into that team, then I think you're getting really excited. And I think that wouldn't be the end of it as well. Shah is a good player in this league, in amongst a better team, if that makes sense. Trippier, if he can stay fit, I just think it's a really strong back four. They were great in terms of clean sheets last year. The expectations, of course, have changed. I get that, but I still don't think teams won't have a go at Newcastle. So I think there'll be good games, and I think, especially at home, they look so good, and I think the fans are so excited that I think they're going to have a good year. And the biggest thing is... I've got Almiron as a red. Yeah, sorry, I know he's had a good pre-season. The biggest thing for Newcastle, for me, is the fact that between now and the end of the window, there will be improvements, I would imagine. And it's one of those where whatever pace it is, and I think if you go too quick, you could wobble and there could be a fall here. If you just gently kind of walk towards your destination, which for Newcastle United is competing with the best, you're not going to go backwards. And I think that's the situation here for Newcastle, because if you think about January as well, we go again, right? Yeah, January they will be the team that we're talking about. They will be the team that's ready to spend, ready to improve on the players that have not done it for them. And I think we're still in a market where there's some players that you could get on the cheap in January if they're willing to pay it. I mean, that said, they've been very careful, I would say, not pushed into overpaying as of yet. But I just think it's a good squad. I think they've kind of moved it forward, and I think there's an excitement there. Could be wrong with that one. But we will see. Right. Where to are you now? So, yeah. I'm going to give you a few gut calls by the end of this, actually, by the way. Because I'm being somewhat sensible. West Ham. West Ham have had a great window. And if they go get Onana, and if they go get Kostic, which is looking a little bit unlikely now, but if they can go and get Kostic, then they're starting to have a little look at it because they've got the depth as well as the quality and options. They're also linked with Maxwell Cornet. And and the thing is, the size, I know I've said this a few times, but the size of this team, it's cheating a little bit. If they were to buy Onana, which looks like it's happening, and he will give Declan Rice the opportunity to move forward more, which I think is quite exciting. Still got Ben Rama in terms of quality, Bowen in terms of quality. Vlasic, I think you can see more from. Fornals is such a great worker for them as well. Scamacca and Antonio up top. Really good squad. And actually, let's go to the Premier League table from last year. They weren't a million miles off 6. Can they get themselves 7 or 8 more points? Maybe. I don't think they're going backwards. I think, and they've kept Rice. It's so huge for them to keep Rice. Unbelievable. So that's why I put West Ham in 7th place. Really good window for them. Okay. And we are now into the top 6. So no surprises. I think it will be the greedy 6. Sorry for saying that. It's just a joke, and I think it's important for us to remind ourselves of that. I'm not having a go at you as fans. Obviously, we need to remember what nearly happened, okay? Man United. This Ronaldo thing is just going on and on and on. I like Erik ten Hag. And I think he'll get there. But there's a clear out. Think Arteta. There's the clear out, and then you've got to have these players coming through as well. I think they're at a better starting point than Arsenal were at the start of that with Arteta. But if we have a look at their squad, it's just one where, when it comes to those guys, especially if you're not going to have Ronaldo in it now, this could look really bleak come the end of the transfer window. It could look really, really bleak. Because if Ronaldo, you tear up his contract or he goes, Sesko, of course, could come in, but he's unproven, isn't he? There's just... This squad looks like... There'll be a video in November, quite possibly, of is this the worst Man United squad of all time? That could be the case. I'm not saying it is the case. And I think in Erik ten Hag, you're going to have such a clear philosophy in place, and they'll be much better for it. But it does feel precarious right now. They're not where they want to be just yet. De Jong, of course, you want to get in as your DM. That goes on and on and on. I think 6th is generous. I just think it's Man United. That's the only thing I'm leaning on here. Tellez looks like he could be leaving soon. Martinez has come in, but he's only one man. Tough time for them, and it really does. The sort of bounce up into 6th at this moment in time is due to the fact that I believe in Erik ten Hag. I do. Is Ericsson not in there? Sorry, Ericsson isn't in there. Ericsson's in there as well. You guys know. Apologies. So yeah, Man United 6th. I think it's one of those. I think if you expect them to be any higher, I think that's really brave of you. I would imagine no one's put them higher than that. But can you regain the confidence of Rashford? Can Martial actually become a part of this squad properly? Confidence of Van der Beek. As I say, Ericsson, good player. Fred finding his role and position in this team. Exciting times. I got Fernandes in the wrong spot. Did I do something? I don't know, guys. I'm tired. Okay, let's keep going. Okie doke. Next up. Now, this, I've got to say, let me just take a second for this, because the last 5 is so hard. So hard. another one where I've switched it about and switched it about and switched it about. But this is what I've settled on. 5th place, Arsenal. I just think the other Arsenal have I know the chat's going to go bad now. Arsenal have improved an incredible amount. And I like Arsenal. You guys know. I have backed Arteta when others weren't. Because I was saying he's got a plan. You can see what he's trying to do. He's a smart man. And I think you're seeing that. You are seeing that. But again, if you look at that league table from last year, it's so hard, regardless of spending money, to move up. Okay? And actually, I can go through the next 3 because, spoiler alert, it's going to be Man City or Liverpool for the title for me, right? But last season, I know they spent a lot of money. I think their points will be higher. Yeah, I think it will be higher. I just think Tottenham is so strong. And I think overall there's maybe just a sort of like glimmer in terms of a lack of depth. As I say, I could get this so wrong with these 3. And I know very few people have done what I'm going to do. Let me do this bit then. Let me talk through these 3. Because I'm going Arsenal, Tottenham, and I'm going to go Chelsea. Now, I think the thing is for me, and maybe this is, I'll be wrong, we'll find out next year, is last year we saw the signings, people got excited, and we made mistakes. In terms of these 3 squads, and let's go through them now. Arsenal, like, improvements all over the place. You guys, like, I've been talking about Saliba for the bulk of this summer. I think he's going to be great for them. Zinchenko's an amazing signing. And they will be right up there. It's going to be so tight. So tight. I'm slightly concerned if there's some injuries here. I guess you could put Martinelli up top and you might be okay. It's a good squad. It's a squad that fights for the Champions League. I know you guys are going to be going mad about Chelsea. My thing with Chelsea is Koulibaly is one hell of a signing. I know I've critiqued it in terms of, like, you know, the other players. Malang Sarr looks like he's going to be leaving, by the way. But if Fofana comes in and Dumfries comes in and Cucurella, which looks like it's happening, is coming in, the thing that puts them over the line for me is that those fullbacks are unbelievable. And the front 3 is incredibly strong. And Raheem Sterling is a proven player. And I just feel like there is still that depth there. And I think there's a feeling around Chelsea that they're all over the place. But actually, they are still a very good squad. A very good squad. And it's those... If you think about last season and what happened to Chelsea. A big part of what happened to Chelsea last season was that Reece James and Chilwell were out for a long part of it. Long part of it. And so if they're both fit, I think they can do much better. I really do. So maybe I'm being swayed by the being sensible element of all of this. But I think Chelsea don't concede many. If you look from the goal difference here as well, I'm not saying Arsenal and Spurs, I think it will improve. And I think the Tottenham-Chelsea one is the one where I was really struggling. When it comes to Tottenham, the thing for me, it's... So first of all, it's Conte. Conte takes them up a notch for me. The recruitment's amazing. Basuma's a great signing. Perisic is a good, solid signing. But what puts them behind Chelsea for me is, again, the fullback positions. I think the fullback positions in football are so important now. So important. Richarlison to offer that depth if Kane gets injured, so there's not the same drop-off playing in any of those front 3 positions. It's a great squad, well put together, and Antonio Conte gets the best out of his squad. And that's why I've gone Chelsea, Tottenham, Chelsea, and Arsenal. I'm just like, well, that's such a great squad. They're pushing. I like all 3 of them. And the Conte factor, see, you've got the balance between the Spurs factor in terms of, you know, it always kind of goes wrong. And then the Conte factor in terms of, like, forget that. This is, you know, the mindset's going to be right. I think Kane's going to be unbelievable this year, Son as well. And that's why I put them above Arsenal. that in those forward positions, I think are just too good. But Arsenal look incredibly fluent as well, and so I might be wrong there. But that is where I'm at. Now, in terms of champions, this is another one I keep... So, my gut is normally wrong, but my gut says Liverpool, because we're all discounting them. And again, in terms of learning from last season, which I wanted to do with these ones, you cannot go against Klopp. Can't. But the only thing that stops him in his way is Guardiola and Man City. Having a look at their two squads quickly. But my gut keeps saying, I think we're sleeping on Liverpool. Because the depth is there, the knowledge of the Premier League is there. I think there's concerns here. It's like, will they do it again? But again, Klopp, you're very, very wary of going against Klopp. So wary of going against Klopp. It's just such a well-drilled team. So good at the back as well. Konaté a year older. And why is that? Alexander Arnold's going to have an amazing season again, no doubt. Salah looks great again. Nunez, like I say, the thing I've been saying about Nunez is the fact that it's just the fact that it's different and we haven't seen it yet. I'm not saying he's a bad player. I'm just saying it's a big one for him. It's a big ask. But if Liverpool get going with the right kind of momentum, they're a match for anyone. Absolutely anyone. Absolutely. Elliott's not green just because in terms of right wing. If you see him here, he's perfect for that position. Here, different kind of player. That's why, okay, before you get angry about that one. So Liverpool. Then we look at Man City. I mean, it's very strong. They need to get this left back sorted out. Sergio Gomez linked with him as well. We should see who they get. Cucurella looks like that's kind of dead in the water now. So that does make it different. And there is pressure here on these front two. Not the same depth. There really isn't the same depth. But there is huge quality. Oh, I'm struggling with this one. Grealish needs to hit the ground running. Haaland should be a superstar. What I've said all along is that, yes, I'm going to give you my gut calls, but I'm going to be sensible this time because I'd like to get some right this time because I was terrible last year. So with that in mind, Man City win the league. Liverpool finish second. I think it's those two again. I think it'll be closer than we think. I wonder if there'll be a little wobble from Man City at some stage. They feel a little bit undercooked. But there is such quality there. And I come back to, as I say, I'm going to try and go with my head this time with these. And when I go with my head, I think the domination that they have, it's exhaustive with Man City in terms of a game of football. And with that in mind, I think they'll just about have enough, but I'm bloody nervous about this one. And I'm slightly annoyed at myself because no one else is going to go for Liverpool, I don't think, this year. And I could have been the one who got it right. But I'm going to go... this year, I'm going sensible. This is me going sensible. Okay. Super chats. Were there any at any point? Let me have a look. Let me know what you think about this. If you'd make a change, where would you make your change? Make that change. Toller Phipps. People forgetting about Chilwell and James. I agree. That's why I've got them third. Thank you for that super chat, my friend. Is that it? I think that's it. Oh, that's it. Yeah, I don't think I've made the only one super chat. Lovely. Okay. Right, guys, there you have it then. I'll leave it there. If you've enjoyed this video, I'll be live tomorrow with my FPL team. If I've missed a super chat, I apologise. That is my final season predictions. Let me know yours in the comments down below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe. 7,000 people. I've never had that many people watch me live. So thank you so much for supporting the channel, watching the channel. And hopefully, as I said, you can hit the subscribe button because I'd love to get to 200k. Anyway, I will see you guys tomorrow. Hit that notification bell as well so you don't miss out tomorrow or the Jaffin live.